Now we're chit-chatting with Karl. Hi, Karl. He's telling us about his experience, with the IRS. Hello?
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I muted myself, but I'm just coming out of Evansville, so I went to talk to this man's probation officer because he had an ankle bracelet on. And then we went and talked to the federal public defender for him. And she said that this man, she's known for 2 years, and she thought the guy was conning him because she said, man, you made a 180-degree turn in your filings and your paperwork. She said, who's this man sitting next to you? He said, that's Karl Lentz. And it's like, she thought I was like a free man in Montana, so she was really, really nervous when we first got there. She was like shaking her legs real bad. And then after about an hour, she said, wow, you're a really nice man, and I apologize the way I treated you when you first walked in, and I see that you calmed this man down, and he seems to be really happy, and his wife, everybody seems to be getting along better because he was doing all this crazy paper filing and this rod class stuff. And that's what the lady said. She said, are you a sovereign citizen? She said to me, I said, oh, no, ma'am. I said, I'm trying to calm these people down to show them how to get in and out of here so quick it's not even funny. So I said to her, so we were talking about 4 felonies he had, and right off the bat, I read the case against him, and, he paid me good money to come down here. And there's 31 pages, so I got just past the first page, I got to the 4th line, and it says, income taxes due and owing. So I stopped, and I started looking through the bill, or the bill of the papers. And I went through the 31 pages real quick, the rest of the pages, and I didn't see anything. So I stopped on page 27, and well, maybe there's an impact statement there. It's like, there wasn't even an impact statement. And I got up off the dining room table, and I left. I said, I'm going back to the motel, I'm done. He said, what? I said, they got a paper case. I said, a paper case. I said, there's nobody here who's going to testify. They got no bill of particulars. I said, no impact statement. You're done. I said, there's a paper case. I said, when can we talk to your attorney? He said, Wednesday. So that was Monday. So I drove him around for a couple 100 miles, and I explained life to him a little bit, and we went to talk to his lawyer. And his lawyer backed me up, everything I said. He said, yep, you got to confess on yourself, and the IRS does not know that money in that account is all income. It could be, I said, it could be a gift, right? He said, yes, there could be a portion of a gift, right? And I said, if the IRS makes 1 penny mistake, they just committed fraud, right? She said, well, yes. So she said to him, well, we're waiting for you to do is admit that you did wrong. As soon as you admit that you did wrong, we can go across the street, we'll sign a guilty plea, we'll start your sentencing process. And she said, Karl, if you want to, you can come in for sentencing and explain why this man was so, doing like, what they call paper terrorism, why he filed so many papers and why they had those 4 criminal charges on him, like threatening the court, threatening the United States. I said, that won't be necessary. I said, this man is gentle as a lamb now. I said, I came here to make sure he didn't have like no a cache of weapons or stock food, on his house. He didn't have landmines. No, I said, he's got 3 kids, 2 dogs, a couple of cats, a parrot. He's a normal, nice guy. He's just a good old boy. He's got a smoking a Bandit Trans Am that he's had for 30 years. I said, he ain't gonna hurt nobody. I said, they need to take this ankle bracelet off, man. This is ridiculous. And then I told her, I said, we're going to press our claim that they filed a false claim against this man. And she said, oh, they're immune. I said, yeah, the IRS agent is immune, and the judge is immune, and the IRS investigator is immune, but not Susie, and not Bobby, and not little Billy, and not Joey. She's like, who? I said, the people that are under the cloak of color of law. I said, those people who actually signed their names and destroyed this man's life, they're liable to another man. But she's like, oh.
Good for you.
Oh, yeah.
You empower people. That's a good thing.
Oh, yeah. So she actually asked me, she said, do you want to go to, she said, well, let me see. The last convention we had for public defenders was in Atlanta. She said, let me find out where the next city's going to be this year. And she's like, you really need to talk to the public defenders and explain like what's going on out here, because she said we see guys like him all the time, and the feds want to nail guys like him and put him in jail for years. And honestly, what's getting these guys all wound up And I said, well, they're desperate. They lost their job or lost their house, and so they outreach for YouTube or internet radio. And they listen to some real crazy stuff out there. And they get really desperate. And as he said, right, he says, now after talking to Karl, I really appreciate the banks because I know now that if I couldn't pay my loan, I could have made an offer for them of $10 a week or $100 a month. And we could have negotiated some sort of settlement instead of not paying anything on it and letting them foreclose on me. He says, I should have made them an offer instead of just ignoring their letters. I said to her, that's all I'm trying to do is get people to understand you just have to write letters back and forth and keep the line of communications open. Because there's another man I'm working with in Chicago, and he's getting letters from the Attorney General within a day. He's responding back. He says, wow, Paul, for years I always did this, rebutted the presumption, and everything went unrebutted, so it's standard as true. He said, I never got a response from the Secretary of State. He says, man, as soon as I write him, he writes me right back within a day. Boom. He says, I get a letter right back. And I said, do you notice how he ends his letter? He says, yours truly. So what he's saying, he's truly yours. It's not he's not in love with you, the Secretary of State. He's saying he is truly yours. He's yours truly. He's saying he is the servant and you are the master. And he said, call me anytime that you need to answer any questions from me. I'll answer anything you have. And he explained every minute detail of his DUI, of why he's a petitioner, why he's taken to court, why it's not a court, why it's not a trial, and why it's an administrative hearing. So the Secretary of State is explaining to him in minute details like what I do with you guys. So now it's just getting confirmation from the Secretary of State of Illinois. So these people just don't think it's my crazy belief. You know, so of course it's crazy. They're not that nice. So I said, oh yes they are. If you know how to talk to them.
Hold on a second, Karl. Joe, if you're on the call, press *8. I don't know, I can't see you on here as Joe, so it's, we're 12 minutes into the call. He said he was going to be on it 5 minutes into the call, so if you're on here, press *8 and I'll unmute you. Otherwise, Karl, go right ahead.
All right, I'm just sitting bumper to bumper traffic on I-70 going eastbound to Indianapolis, so I'm able to talk to you folks.
How's the weather over there?
Nice. It's 80 and sunshine, and it really calmed down. It was extremely hot this past week, but it's nice. LA calmed down too, right?
Well, it looks like it's going to rain any minute. It's so overcast right now, or cloudy. It's like monsoon weather what we're having here.
Oh, you get that in August. Yeah, you get that. Yeah, it is almost August. That's right.
Yeah, well, we've had it since June. It's been hot, humid. I don't like
it. Oh, yeah. Vegas is nice because it's dry. Phoenix is brutal because But, like I said, it's going pretty quiet here. And I did some videos.
You did?
Yeah. Another group of people asked me to go to northern Indiana, so I'm heading back to now. And I did like 3 days worth of videos. You know how like those these guys brought Winston Shroud in a couple of years ago, and they did some videos with Winston. So these guys really like my stuff. They said, yeah, Winston tells great stories and he tells a lot of history, but he doesn't tell anybody how to solve anything. So I said to the guys, okay, fine. You give me the problem, I'll give you the solution. So they just kept throwing problems out at me for like 3 days straight. I just kept throwing the solutions. You do that. And one guy said, well, we know Karl's real because he doesn't redact anything. Like all of his paperwork, nothing is blacked out. So everything that he says he has no problem. I even wrote my Social Security number on the board for everybody in the video. I said, it's not my number. I said, Social Security is the IRS's number. It's not mine. They just had to give it to me. And I said, if I choose to use it, I use it. If not, I said, it's not my number. I said, you want to know my number? Here it is. I put it on the board. I said, it ain't mine. He said, it's bad. I said, so how could they hold me liable for something that is not mine? I don't claim. So these guys are like, yeah. So, like I said, it's fun. I did 3 days worth of videos, and the people, and I showed them how to set up their own vote. These guys doing their own common law court back in the 80s and the 90s. So, and they were going nowhere. And they tried to arrest the governor back in the 90s, so a lot of them went to jail. So I said, look, guys, I'm just here to calm it down. I said, you want to know how to use a public building? This is how you make a claim to use a public building. I said, make a claim from 12 o'clock till 1 o'clock on Friday afternoon, and that you want to access a court room, the building, and that you want to have common law matters addressed between, like, say, 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock on Fridays, because it's basically closed anyway. But
you know what, Karl? I think our guest speaker has arrived. Joe, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm on. I'm just looking over some of the links here.
Oh, okay. Well, let me let Karl finish up, and then you'll come on. Okay.
Sure.
Oh, I want to hear this guy. I love this guy, because somebody said that he was pretty good last week. Some lady called me. Oh, some lady. Remember that lady? She was getting she was making $100,000 with General Motors last year, and she was coming home with $995. She sent me her IRS returns for the last 3 years. She was coming home with $19 to $20 a week out of a $2,000 paycheck. So I showed her how to amend her W-4, and she got her paycheck restored.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So see, there you go. And she did something wacky. She says, "And I only want to be paid with real money." I said, "Don't break that." I said, "You know what? Forget it, lady. As long as they gave you your paycheck back, that's all that matters."
Well, Joe, this is Karl. Karl, this is Joe.
Hey.
Hey, Karl, how you doing?
Hey, all right? Yeah, somebody said that you were good. Some lady called me up, and she thought you were pretty good. So I said, hey, let me listen in.
Well, good. I'm glad you made it.
Thank you. I want to jump right in.
Let me introduce you first, everybody. Our special guest speaker has arrived, and he wants to be introduced as Joe Alvarez, and I posted some of his stuff on the website. So if you go to myprivateaudio.com, go to the guest speakers page and click on his name, Joe. You can see some of his stuff there, and the rest will be coming. Hi, Joe. Glad you could make it. Thank you so much.
Hi, Angela. Thank you. Thank you for having me back. I'm trying to get access to so that I could post some links for you guys. But I don't have, I can't, it says click in here to sign in, but it's not letting me. So I was wondering if you could let me.
On the TalkShoe chat, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, here, let me unmute you. Hold on a second. That might help.
Say that again?
Let me unmute you. That might help.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're coming in as a guest.
Thank you. Well, you know, I'm not very good at. I'm like Howard, you know, with the computers. I don't give them much. I don't give them much patience. No, but it's just that, you know, for signing up, I do have some kind of TalkShoe account, but it's just I don't use it, so it's just that's why I came in like that.
So what's this link you put in here? Justice.gov.
Right here, this is the Department of Justice website. So I just wanted, like I said, just jump into it and mention, like Karl was talking about the common law. And last week on the call, I mentioned the common law is codified and is within the, you know, just in the civil code. And if you go over here to the website that I just posted, at the very, very top of the header, it says, the common law is the will of mankind, issuing from the life of the people. So they're putting it up there that the common law is the will of mankind. That is what you guys are asking for right here. That it also says it's the will of mankind. And if you don't have a will, then how are they going to know that that's your will? So one of the things that I'll be posting up is the will over here for California that the bar expects you to file into your paperwork. You could file your own, of course, but this is, you could say, a statutory will. So one thing that I wanted to mention to folks is, you know, I don't know if you got the memo or anybody put out a memo, but I was going to talk about the airship tonight, and basically how you get your airship. And that's truly what you're seeking. You have an airship, but no one has given you a will where it says that. A lot of folks, you know, they pass away and they think, well, I don't have anything, so I'm just going to give this to that person, that person, that person, and I just have bills to pay. And then, you know, if they don't leave a will, then the estate automatically goes into probate. It's summary probate. That's what they call it. Oh, excuse me. So what happens is we are right now, every time we go into court, experiencing summary probate against our estate. And again, like I spoke last time, we're the wards of that estate. So what they have done is they've created an estate for us, and then they immediately declare us dead. But at the same time, they give us the paperwork so that we could go ahead and administer the estate. And to be able to really, you could say, obtain your estate the way you're supposed to register with the Secretary of State. And there's a form that you use to do that she has available. And I'm going to try to get that. I'm sorry I didn't even think about posting that form up. And or otherwise I would have had it ready. But I'll get that for you, Angela. It's mostly, like I said last time, most of the stuff I got is for out here in California. So if you'd like to move out here, we could help you real quick. But otherwise, we're going to have to do a little digging. But it's in there, Anyways, I just want to mention and start with that is the will. The will is, folks, you need to do your will. And I'm not going to tell you all the different results of the will, but let's just say that right here in the Department of Justice, who is the debt collector for this Department of Treasury. And if some of you went to the link, I'm hoping that some of the stuff is out there, that's what they are.
I'm looking at it right now, this California Statutory Will, California Probate Code.
Yeah. Now at the very top of the will right there, at the very top, one of the first things it says, "This is my will. I revoke all prior wills and codicils." Okay? So once you do this right here, whatever the heck they have over there, pretending that they own your estate, this cancels it out, because you are saying, and you don't have to use this will. But what I'm trying to tell you is that whatever you do when you're doing your will, you must have that statement on your paperwork. This is my will. I revoke all prior wills and codicils. So that birth certificate automatically, that you could say is an inheritance that somebody left. It's a piece of paper that the birth certificate, folks, is indenture certificate. It's a certificate that basically proves that there's a liability to you, and that certificate is used. They issue, like you guys know, they issue notes against it. But that is it's a voting stock certificate. You are partial owners of this franchise, this corporation called the United States. And you would say technically it's a franchise of the United Nations. But you're partial owner of this corporation, and that's why one of the representatives out here in California, he said it straight out. Obama is the CEO of this corporation we call the United States. So that's kind of disclosure, folks, even though they're trying to put it as a yay or a nay. But that's disclosure. Just like the paperwork that I'm showing you and the statutes that I'm showing you, they're giving you disclosure. If you see some of the stuff that I've seen in the code, it's bad. You don't know the code. They could give you organic therapy out here in California. And organic therapy, basically, that means they get to go and rip your mind out and shock you and all these things. And since they have assumed power of attorney, they get to do that. And, they'll lie on the paperwork and, they'll forge your signature, whatever they need to. So that's why it's important that you have a will and a living trust, because these are the only people that would be authorized to give you any such therapy. Okay. Anyhow, the heirship, folks, the heirship is that certificate right there. I mean, well, you could say that is part of the certificate. That is an asset of what is called your trust corpus. And your trust corpus really is you. You are ultimately your trust corpus. You are the estate, ultimately. If you had nothing,